Hello and welcome to TPE Network's Mouse House Plus podcast, episode 33, covering What If. I'm Hank.
And I'm John, 33.
And we are your hosts. Oh, man, this is a fun episode to recap it, if nothing more. So
Yeah.
I think we should get right into it.
Oh, please, let's do this. We get to rehatch all of phase one.
And so we start out with Monday. We pick up with Tony Stark, Randy's Donuts, and he's up on the donut. That was excellent and outstanding. And then we see that he's suffering from the palladium poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
And Natasha injects him, and it's gonna help abate the symptoms. And then he just keels over dead. I was like, what did we just witness? What did you think?
I'm like, that was quick. I was okay, since I've seen that so many times, because I mean everyone keeps putting Iron Man 2 like way down the list. I actually really enjoy it, so I've seen it a lot. But Fury's mannerisms when addressing Tony in the donut are not the same. I do know that that's Samuel Jackson doing the voicing, but he's a lot more calm there than he is in the movie. In the movie's like, you get your butt down.
He's like standing there. Somebody said that they erased they had 316 on the sidewalk, but in this animated version they took it off.
Well, I mean, was the 316 supposed to be in there in the first place, or just something they missed? And then this time around, they're like, okay, we're going to make sure that that's not there.
No, it was supposed to be in there.
Oh, okay.
But interesting to say the least, though, that they started out just killing like that. I was like, Tuesday, we're on to Tuesday, Milner and Coulson. So we kind of get that whole ordeal, but with a twist here. We have Crossbones, Rumlow, and company that have Natasha in custody, and they're going to hand her over to Alexander Pierce. I loved that they interjected this into this episode. What did you think about that portion, just that portion?
It was perfect. You know, seeing Crossbones like that, walking around like, oh, okay, so this is just showing that he has been there this entire time.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I mean, I just love the fact that she's just having an open conversation, basically being like, yeah, I'm probably just going to smash all these guys' face in. and
that was great when Fury says he still trusts her, and he hands her that, another quote antidote so she can get it tested to see what killed Tony. I was like, man, he's a really good judge of what somebody's going to do next most of the time, I should say.
Okay, well, hold on. That was the original ejector, because when we find out later on, whenever it's being addressed, that it was something else. But anyway, the only part that I didn't like about this is he blatantly hands it to her. She goes like this, and no one thinks to look at her hands. I mean, it's Fury talking to a spy.
Right.
So you have a spy talking to a super spy. Sorry, super spy talking to a super spy.
Right.
So, like, you know, of course they're going to be handing stuff off. I mean, if anything, I'm like, did you see the giant sword that, you know, they slipped out of his sleeve and we put up her sleeve kind of thing? No, instead it's just like, oh, here's this injector. Can't do anything.
That was pretty obvious. And like you said, she's in front of them as she's getting in.
Yeah.
So they would see the back of her hands.
Yeah, and then when she turns around, she's just covering it, and you have to think that, like, okay, well, look at that. Clearly, she's doing something there.
Right.
She's got something in her hands.
Yes. Oh man, yeah. She was really nonchalant, which was so much fun. But Project Pegasus base, inside the back of that transport. And then I just wrote Black Widow does what Black Widow does, and presto, she's gone. I mean, that we knew that was going to happen, but
were they taking her to Pegasus base?
That's what I gathered, but I don't know if that's. I wrote that in my notes, but I don't know if that's exactly either A, where they were at, or B, where they were going.
Okay. I'd be interested to try and figure out where that is in correlation to the donut shop, and then where Thor's hammer comes in. I mean, interesting triangulation,
right?
But so then let's see. We're now looking at Thor's hammer.
Yeah, so we're in Puente Antiguo, New Mexico. So we have Hawkeye and Coulson. They're discussing Mjolnir. Jackson does CrossFit and he couldn't even lift it. And Jackson's name, I mean, Jackson's at least in the movie. He's even at least in the Thor movie.
Yeah, isn't that the big dude that's like that fights Thor and actually like, puts a couple hits on him and he's like, oh, they make him big here.
I don't know if that was him or not, but I know he got his tail kicked because he didn't check in. I remember when they were on the comms and they were running down the names and they're like nothing.
Oh.
But Coulson marking out over Thor and his hair, I was like, okay. Like they made Coulson a stooge in this episode. I'm not ashamed to say it. They made him like really campy humor.
Yeah, but I mean, that was kind of what he was. If he wasn't running the show, then he had the campy humor. That was like his thing. Like he either the only time that I ever saw him so serious in the movies is whenever Destroyer shows up in Thor 2 and he's like, oh, nobody tells me about this stuff, and he's like so mad at that. But besides that, like whenever he's like taking stuff from people, like he's like smiling the entire time. So with him dropping the line being like, he's got gorgeous hair, considering the fact that he's like losing his hair, it just it's funny. And then Hawkeye says the same thing. Hey, Coulson was right on the money about that description.
And remember the one shot that he did when he was on his way to the desert?
Okay, I was going to get to that in a little bit. Yeah, so let's keep that all together because there's a whole big thing about that, which I'll bring up here in a moment.
That's cool. Clint appears to shoot Thor and kill him. Did you think he slipped, or did you think that something else was at play? I was really in the dark at this point.
I was thinking something else was in play because typically you'd see him let go, his hand let go. Like I actually thought that somehow his hand dematerialized to a point where it had no force to it, and it just went through his hand. That's what I thought at first.
Oh, interesting.
No, I mean, because think about it, that's what Ghost did. So, like, say, for example, what happens if Ghost had more control over power, was able to grab a hold of him and do like a Kitty Pryde thing and make a section of his hand or arm or something disappear? I mean, we're in a what if. So halfway through it, you're just speculating, well, what could be doing this? Or who could be doing this? So then you're like, have to go down the list of everyone that we know so far. I'll be honest, did not see this one coming at all.
I thought it was Ghost.
Oh, so I called. Oh, good. Then you and I were both on the same page.
Yeah, I did. I thought it all the way up until almost to the end when we get a line, but we'll get there.
Yep.
Wednesday, Culver University. Betty Ross and Natasha talk. They discover a projectile was fired from inside that antidote syringe. And that's when we got to look at Stan Lee Pizza Parlor hat. I love that. Oh, I loved it.
And I missed that. I didn't catch it until after going through and seeing if there was anything I missed. And I can't believe that I did. And because that's exactly what he puts on when they're trying to hide. And yeah, it's one of those things, I don't catch everything. That was definitely one of the things. How long did they actually like focus on the hat? Was it just a second, or was it like, we saw it a little bit more than that?
It was just a few seconds.
Okay. So I don't feel so bad. If it was like, if it had its own moment, then I'd be like, yeah, I'm sorry, everyone.
It was full frame pretty much. Like they pan and it's like they pause on it for a second and then they go. And I was like, that's great.
All right, everybody. Then I failed you.
Can I make a t-shirt of that, or is that trademarked?
Me
Stanley. Stanley.
It's probably trademarked now. Well, soon there'll be hats, man. I'll take it. No. Okay, you have to get updated on your graphics. You need to have the star being removed.
Oh, that would be great.
I'd say if you really want to get me to like pout.
That'd be awesome. Have 5 and then it goes to 4, then it's 3. Episode is over. Now Fury tells Natasha that Barton is dead.
Yep.
And then Natasha finds Bruce. You know, he's hiding in that little, what was it, a closet or something?
Yeah, he's a closet on the campus.
And they need to go. I was like, and the one part of this episode it was good, but it was kind of, for show note taking, it's kind of frustrating is when they go back, forth, like that. And kind of sucks sometimes.
I like that they gave us a location because in the Hulk movie, there is no location. I know roughly where they are in the Virginia, DC area, which made me think that where they were supposed to be was UMBC campus.
Oh, cool.
That's what I thought for years now. And it wasn't the case. It's a different campus, but it's
Culver.
Yeah, which isn't that far away. But I mean, again, it's this is the first time they actually pinned down like a location for it. But this whole scene right here is right, except for where's Abomination?
That's a great point.
Because everything going on that part, what was the guy's name? Not the actor, but his character's name was like
which one? Abomination?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I just watched it yesterday and I cannot get it. I don't know. We'll just keep going.
Okay. Anyway, but everything leading up to this what if in that world is still the same. So, but I know that they only had, was it Blonsky?
Blonsky. Blonsky.
Yeah. Sorry, they had him come in after Hulk was ripping things apart. Now, see, in this case, he threw a couple things and maybe they didn't get to that because, let me see. If I remember correctly, they came in with the sound generators to try and hit him with sonic waves. And then after he stopped that is when Blonsky came in.
Okay.
So they didn't get to that part, but still, I feel that they should have been like, Blonsky, you're up in a second, just acknowledging that he is there.
Yes.
So anyway, besides that, no, I'm not overly thrilled about how Hulk died in this because remember he's not supposed to be able to die, but somehow
let's get to
shoot his heart with something, he.
All right. Wait till we get to it.
Okay.
So Coulson is at the landing zone for Loki and an army with the Destroyer too. I love that.
Oh, in the Heroes 3. No, wait, what are they called again?
Yeah, Warriors 3.
The Warriors 3 and Sift.
Oh, and she did that. Jamie Alexander did the voice. I was like, yes.
Yep.
Good deal. I got all the people who didn't do their voices this week at the end. I have them.
Okay.
Loki is here for revenge. And that's when Banner is shot and Hulk's out. And Loki uses the casket of ancient winters as Hulk swells and explodes. And an acquaintance of mine did a frame by frame of that scene. It is absolutely disgusting because he in all the creases is where he explodes. It was so gross. I was like, I'm scarred for a while now. I don't ever want to see that again, to be honest. But like you were saying, how did he? I mean, he's not supposed to be able to die.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is that if they use the PIM particles in reverse on his heart to, I don't know, make it bigger, and then it just now that would kind of make sense. And if it got bigger inside him and then just blew up his body, but then you'd have a heart laying there being like, what just happened? Kind of that kind of thing.
And then somebody like me would come up and go, that guy was all heart.
Yep.
Or he used the disc.
A lot of heart.
He used the disc like they used in the movie.
Okay,
where they throw the little PIM disc. And
so it was, but did it get bigger?
His heart started to get bigger.
Okay.
So it's pumping more gamma fused, whatever. But that don't make any sense. Like he's impervious.
I don't know. I mean, I think if anything, it's like we have to go to the Hulk fans and be like, all right, everybody, is what just happened, could that actually happen?
And they'll say no.
Okay.
Because he'll just get madder and madder and stronger and stronger and madder. You know what I mean? Yep. Like that's his deal.
Yep.
Loki and Fury make a deal. He has until sunrise to hand over the killer. Man, Tom Hiddleston is gold in this.
Mm-hmm.
He's so good. So good. Natasha asks Coulson for his password, and Corny Coulson, as I'm going to call him from now on, apparently. Steve. I heart Steve 0704.
Now, but you're gonna sit here and be like, "That's not him," but that is him. You remember how much of a fanboy he is for Captain America. He had the playing cards, man, and that's so on point for him.
Collectors don't. They're not necessarily like creep shows. Or is there something you want to tell us about Transformers?
What? I mean, there's a Transformer sitting at my desk downstairs right now because he likes playing on my computer, apparently.
Oh gosh, as we'll digress.
But no, he is on point. Because I mean, that's happened before. There's been other times when he's been super embarrassed about something because they know how cheesy it is. Or he knows how cheesy it is.
I want to know how many people changed their password after this episode.
I did not.
So in the wherever she's at, library or whatever she's doing, she is not alone. Natasha is taken out by, and I was like, it's Ghost. That's I really thought it was Ghost until this next part where she's like, when we're gonna get to where it's all about hope. And did you see the tweet we got from a community member?
Oh no, I didn't. I haven't been on Twitter a lot as of late, so I apologize.
He just actually just put it out there, and I saw it, and I was like all over it because he was like that feeling you feel when you think they're talking about hope, Max Hope, and they're not. I was like, yes, I thought that too. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get it. We're finally gonna get it. No.
Well, I didn't think it was Ghost when we got to this scene, not because she was calling that out, but because of how we were watching the fight progress per the fighter's point of view. And when we saw that, like, it got like down like this, it kind of like did this weird, like kind of curve up. And I'm like, and that's why
somebody little.
Yeah. I was like, nah, this isn't right. There's something else going on here.
Interesting. Good man. Coulson and Fury talk about hope as he pulls out the Captain Marvel modified pager. And then he gets an idea and he goes to see Loki, who is guarded by the Destroyer. You have a name, soldier? That was awesome. I'm like, his name could be whatever he feels like it should be.
his name is what's on your wallet. Could you pull your wallet out?
MasterCard ain't getting you out of this one, Sam.
Oh man. Yeah, but I mean that was one of the things too. Like, okay, he's a Sentry, but you're right. If someone comes up and wants to talk, what do they do? Like, he's just basically there. The enchanted armor is there just to mess people up. I don't see him being like, okay, come with me.
Come with me if you want to live.
And then you take a step and he does that entire thing where he goes back and he backhands you and you're just like, ah!
I love that sound effect they do with him. Oh, I love it. Thursday, San Francisco, California. Hank Pym is the villain. Now we get that Odessa mention. Did you remember the Natasha and Winter Soldier story?
No, I don't. Refresh my memory.
When she is driving with this scientist or engineer, and gets the assassin shoots through her to kill that person, and she's got that scar on her abdomen.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So people are speculating, would it have been, if it wasn't Natasha on that mission, would it have been Hope sent on that mission? And that's how she went into the afterworld. What do you think?
I'm seeing what you're putting down, and I'm agreeing with you.
It's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when Fury fights him, were you already aware of what was going on?
As soon as he when Hank shrunk and punched him and he didn't move, I was like, hold on a second. No, wait. That's not right. And then whenever he turned around and, like, he does the little small hit with the big hit and they just kind of stop each other. And I'm like, oh, this has got to be Loki. I'm like, there's, and then whenever he's like dodging everything and he's like not even thinking, I'm like, listen, I know that Fury is good and he can, and this would definitely be a pose that he would do and just dodge someone and not actually fight, just let them wear himself out. But as soon as he was just like just gone, and you're like, oh nope, that's 100% a Loki. And then I was like, and now that makes sense. Now I know why he went there.
Yes, that was so cool. I was like, what a good double cross. Love it, because you're kind of spry for a guy with an office
corner office.
I was like, yes, it's Loki. He did that flip. I was like, you did Loki.
Well, the other thing too is that Hank's an old guy still. It's not like the suit makes him. It's not an Iron Man suit where it does does the heavy lifting.
No,
although he does have the leg. But I do have to commend. I mean, yes, I realize it's animated and it's easier than doing like a real life version of it. But this version of the Yellow Jacket, Ant-Man, whatever it is, I like this one. This one turned out good.
Yes, it did.
I like the little thing. I know that this is a reminiscent of the
old comics.
Yellow Jacket, the old comic books where it has the little risers right here. But I like how his whenever the legs came out, like they're more compact than they were before. Which before they came out, and they're just like, it looks like you can take those things out easy. These are just like right here, and I don't. I like this concept drawing of Hank Pym's Yellow Jacket.
Excellent. Well, after they take him down, it's Friday. Loki is now the world's leader. And did you see on screen we had that ad for that soda that was in the Edward Norton Hulk? Where Stanley...
I didn't see that. Okay. Oh, I missed another thing.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I was trying to read what was scrolling down at the bottom.
Oh, okay. That was easy. It was a quick scene. It was quick. But I was like, oh, that's that drink where he hulked out after he drank some. I was like, you love this guy.
I mean, look, if anything, these series, What If, WandaVision, Loki, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're doing nothing but tossing in Easter eggs for us to just go bonkers with, more so than what they do in the movies. I think the movies, they get like a little set thing, and yeah, you can stick some things in there, but they're there to with a specific purpose. And I almost feel that with these TV series, everyone's just having a good time. They're like, let's see what we can get them with this week.
And they are having a good time with this.
Yeah,
love it. Fury and Coulson talk. Then he wipes away some of the frost on the ice, and you see the Captain America shield, and then behind him, it's Captain Marvel who has shown up.
Well, he says, "Isn't that right, Captain?" And everyone, and you're supposed to think that he's talking to the frozen body, and then she's like behind you, and you're like, "Oh, never mind. Okay, we're speeding this along a little bit."
That's how I put in the show notes. How many captains do you need on one team? They're gonna be like, we also got Captain Kangaroo from the freaking 70s.
I was say, but he's so that means that Captain Marvel is an actual captain. Captain America is just kind of given the name. I don't think he's not really a captain. Isn't he like a lieutenant now or something?
I don't know. Yeah. He's not enough.
So before we get into ratings, I want to get this one thing out. All right.
Okay.
So if a lot of people, these are one of the things that I actually really love that Marvel was doing back during phase 1. Okay. All their Marvel shorts that they did, if you just took every single one of them and cut them out, you could stitch them all together and it would make sense. Also, it's really better to be played afterwards. Like, for example, like Abomination is brought up at the end of the which one is that? Oh, that might be the Incredible Hulk. It's the very first one, or sorry, it's the second one. But we see him, they're discussing what to do with Abomination. And that was between Coulson and oh my gosh, I cannot believe I'm forgetting his name. Who is the bull black dude? Not you. The other one, they turned around to be a Hydra agent.
Oh my goodness, I picture him right now. Because everybody thought he was going to turn into Roadkill. The character.
Okay. Well, anyway, killed. They had a conversation in the diner, and which I do believe is the same diner that they use for when Fury is talking to them at the end of Iron Man 2. And if you look at Iron Man 2, then you get to see the great big map of where everything's going on. And then you see the dot over by where the Incredible Hulk issue is going on. And then the dot where Mjolnir is. Then there's the short where it has Coulson going to the Hammer, and then he stops at that convenience store where it's getting robbed, and then basically just beats the bejesus out of everybody. And then you have let me see, there's that one to get to the Hammer. And then who do we have left? I don't believe there was one for Captain America. I feel like I'm missing one. Anyway, that set aside, if you took all of those and stitched them together, that was actually a comic book series that was released at the end of phase 1 called Fury's Big Week.
Okay.
Every single thing that we saw there was dictated in these comic books and stitched together better. But the weirdness about all of it is that, phase 1 primarily happened in like a week and a month. Like all the first movies, everyone's first were basically all together except for Captain America's. So I'm very happy that not only did they go back and explore these locations, but they are using all the stuff that was in Fury's Big Week comic book. I mean, clearly it's changed because it's a what if now. This is, nothing had happened in the comic book is happening here directly. It's just that some of the same events are still happening. And this is all based on Fury's, what we're seeing in this what if is based off of the comic books that, in 1 week, all this stuff happened. Over here, in 1 week, all this crap happened and end up here at the end. So yeah, this was a good job that they did. Now, do I think? And here we go in the ratings. Do I think this was as strong as the other episode, the last episode? No, I don't think it was as strong as the last episode. So if we're diving in the ratings now, I'm going to have to give this a 7. I greatly enjoyed it. We did find some loopholes that just don't make any sense, and everyone should know. Should have the same question. Where was Blonsky? It's simple. I mean, if you're going to include all these other Easter eggs, why not include the apparent one that's supposed to be there that we know? But I mean, it was still good, and it had almost every single person that was a character in there, played their character in the cartoon. So, right. Which you're going to get into here in a little bit about who wasn't in there. So. Right.
Anyway, Jasper Sitwell is the character we were forgetting.
Jasper Sitwell, Agent Sitwell. Yes.
And then it's going to sound narcissistic, but it's not meant to be. I actually like doing this recap better than I like the episode. I seriously, I did not like the episode.
I mean,
it was good, but it just missed for me. I'm going to be generous and give it a 7, but it was not very good for me.
So what do you think about between this one and the last one? Because the last one you were upset over the fact that they really didn't seem to change. You were.
Are you talking about number 1?
Was it
Peggy Carter?
Oh yeah, number 1. Yeah, number 1. So how does this one stand up to number 1?
I didn't like this one even as much as that.
Really?
I just didn't. It's just not. I don't know. I get that these are what ifs, and then you just throw the cards wherever and stuff, but there were so many misses in this one that I was just like, eh.
Well, I mean, in their defense, how much stuff can you squeeze into a 30-minute episode? They had to leave a few things out, but honestly, just a name, making a call of some sort would have solved a lot of this.
I agree. Well, I want to talk quickly. Betty Ross's character was voiced by Stephanie Panicello. You knew that wasn't going to be the actress, of course, from the movie. And then Lake Bell voiced Black Widow. And everybody's like, that's just a coincidence. That was a scheduling conflict because that wasn't due to any stuff going on. And then Mick Winger, he voiced Tony Stark. And that one I found interesting because what would have been his excuse? Is this around the time he deleted some of the Marvel people off of social media?
I think that they were saying that there was more on the lines of he was done. Like
Okay.
he was still on board that I'm done, and then they were pushing this out, and he was like, no, I'm done. Now, what would be nice to hear is if he approved of the voice.
I thought the person did pretty good.
No, I'm not saying that he did good or he did bad. I'm just curious that if they got his input.
Oh, okay.
Because
I doubt it.
That would make this person taking over the role a little bit easier to swallow, because it would be like, oh, he didn't want to do it because he was done with it, but he definitely okayed it. I mean, it's almost like getting a oh man, I'm not doing good on names tonight. Getting the Winter Soldier to whenever he says Sebastian. That's all I have to do is I have to just start talking about him. Sebastian Stan. Like, all he wants is he'll be Luke Skywalker as long as Luke Skywalker says it's okay for him to be Luke Skywalker.
All right.
So, and then everybody else is like, yeah, I'm totally down with that. I have no issues whatsoever if you know he was given the okay. Now I think, and I would be almost the exact same situation here for voice acting as well.
And then Alexandra Daniels voiced Captain Marvel. And she said like 3 words, but whatever.
I mean, why couldn't they get Blair for that?
Brie Larson.
Brie, sorry.
We have one piece of feedback we should get to quickly before we wrap her on up.
Okay.
It says, hi, Hank and John. Great episode. It felt like a murder mystery. If Hank Pym could do all of that, why didn't Fury talk him into taking out Hydra a long time ago? What do you think happened to Hope? I don't remember the details of Hank's wife's death other than she got stuck in subatomic space. Something I keep running into during this series, instead of just being happy to hear most of the original actors reprising their roles, I miss the actors who aren't showing up in this series. What's keeping some of the headliners out? Money? Too busy? Mad at Disney? Thanks, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, thank you so much for this. Let's go through an order. Fury did not know Hydra had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. at this time.
Yeah, that we don't find out about that for almost well, it's actually phase 2. So after the Chitauri battle, which all this stuff happens, so like it's probably about a year, if not maybe close to a year and a half before after that. Where we are right here. Yeah,
right. And then what do you think happened to Hope? It might be a spoiler, so I better not say. Is it a spoiler still?
I don't. I mean, we're not going to see any more of this episode, so I mean, I don't see how it to be a spoiler.
Okay.
You can't spoil anything that they didn't really talk about.
Because wouldn't she be in the quantum realm?
Oh, do you think they sent Hope in to try and find her mom in the quantum realm?
Or maybe she got stuck in.
Oh yeah. Oh, in that case, yes, that's what I think, because whenever they're having the conversation there at the end in regards to how could you do this? You know what happened to her mother? It makes it sound like she was doing a mission, yep, and the mission caused her to die, which was more than likely. Although they didn't, if they were like, her body's not even there, that would have been a good toss out, knowing that she's stuck in the quantum realm.
That would have been interesting if they would have said either way. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know they got the gravesite and everything, but does that mean anything?
Yeah,
for sure. In a comic book movie.
Yep.
So what about the details of Hank's wife's death? And that was the other one that she might be in there, and they might have sent Hope to retrieve, or Hope might have gone on her own to try to retrieve. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that's the case, because I feel that, I mean, when we saw in the Ant-Man 2, like Hank would have completely been heading that and wouldn't have sent his daughter in to do that. He would have done it himself. So
that's true.
This was a mission
accidental.
This is an accidental death on a mission.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so we'll see. We'll see if they. I don't know if they'll even go back to this storyline at all during this season of What If, but if they do, that'd be cool if they kind of showed what happened to the mom.
See, here's the problem with the what ifs, okay, is that you show one and it kind of gets their story, but then people like you and me are asking, but what about this person? What about this person? What's going on with this? And then they have to flesh out an entire world that the only point of the what if was to deal with the specific characters of what if this character did this.
Yep.
So if what you and I are asking are way out of the realm of what they would ever do, but it would be nice that like if they started it and they went down a checklist of like, and here's all the things that, the standard things that we know that's happening in the MCU currently. If they went down the list and were like, yeah, this is what's going on now. This is what's going on. Now you get that from Utat every now and then whenever something is going on screen and then we're transitioning to another screen, which by the way, how many times did you see the Watcher in the background in this episode?
That was awesome. I love when Fury's eyes turned into him.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best. That was the best, like overlay mesh and then fade into him.
That is you know what? Thank you for bringing that up, because that is a call out right there to the comic book storyline of where Fury ends up killing Utat, and then whenever he comes back, Fury becomes the Watcher.
Interesting. Cool.
That's where he's at right now.
Cool.
So anyway, he gives us some disposition of what's going on right now, but not only what's going on currently in the scenes that we're seeing, not everything else in the world.
Right.
Which, it's hard. How do you do a quick rundown of that? But
you don't. You leave it open ended so everybody can speculate like we do.
Yeah, because even if they did a comic book series, I mean, you could do one comic book which would focus on, like, say, a continent. This is all the stuff that happened in the United States. Okay, well, we also know all this stuff was going on in Africa. We know this stuff was going up in Europe. Definitely all kinds of stuff going on in Russia. Right. Apparently, there's a whole, business of making assassins floating around the sky.
Of course.
Yep.
And then lastly, she wanted to know about what's keeping the headliners out. I think it's a little bit of everything. I think money, as far as how much would you have had to pay Robert Downey Jr. just to spit out those several lines.
You know what? At some point in time, we'll probably get some sort of statement from him being like, "This is why I didn't do it."
Yeah.
But I mean, we haven't, even though he's disconnected himself from Disney, we haven't heard it. There's any animosity between him and Disney.
No.
So who knows?
He's kept it pretty calm and professional. I think Elizabeth, it's all of the above. I think there's some of all of that. Dave Bautista's Drax is mad at Disney. I think scheduling too busy could have been at the time for Scarlett Johansson. Could have been that.
I agree with you with the money, because if you got a lot of, just like you said, all the big head people there, if they're just like, no, if you want me to do this, I need this amount of money, and they're like, yeah, but we're not paying any of the other cartoon people this. You're just coming in here, sitting on your butt and reading some lines.
All right,
so
what? I mean, 4 lines.
And I can see how that would be an issue, because they'd probably want acting costs. Yes. I mean, sorry, live acting costs, or not voiceover.
Right, and you can pay these voiceover artists, pennies compared to what you're going to pay Robert Downey Jr. Even if the voice artist is making $1,000 a line, it's nothing compared to what Robert Downey Jr. would be asking for.
Yep.
Well, I think we should wrap it up. Anything else?
No more.
Okay.
I think at almost 40 minutes we're good.
Yes, we're longer than the episode. That's scary. But thank you so much, John, for carving out the time. I greatly appreciate it.
All the time.
And thank you for listening or watching. If you're checking us out on YouTube, we appreciate your time as well. For all the great shows we do at TPE Network, head to tpenetwork.com/subscribe. For John, I'm Hank. Until the next time, we're signing off.
See you, everybody.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing